Hey everybody, it's Claire with the Ormewoods. Welcome. We are having like some major family drama right now, and I don't even need to laugh because it's really not funny. The kids and Dawn, somehow both of our dogs got out, and we have two 100-pound rescue dogs, and they are not like they're rescues because they were abused. And so if you have any experience with rescue dogs, you know they're like very skittish. And so it's just hard. And we have like an invisible fence and the collars and all that, but somehow they got out. And Don just happened to notice it right before we were coming down. So he and the two teenagers are out trying to do that. I just wanted to make sure that we were okay. If something like really crazy happens and they need me, then I'm going to have to pause this and go up there and get these dogs in because obviously that's the priority. But we did want to be here for you. So there's a chat box on your right. And we would love to just know who you are or where you're from or, what you're into. Are you a music person or a garden person, for us? And I'll put a little chat thing. And I think as soon as Don can get the dogs in, they will be good. While I'm waiting for you guys to get on and chat with us and tell us a little bit about you, I will say we've had kind of an interesting week. We had one of our singles from our latest album is Not Your Mama's Folks, Sew Me Up, was put on like a big playlist by the Spotify curators. And so that's been kind of fun. Like that's not something we expected. And in fact, we actually had a radio campaign in the late fall, and that was not even a song that like the radio people picked.
Got it?
You want to come say? Are the dogs okay?
Yeah.
Everybody's in?
Yep.
Okay, good. So everybody's in, dogs are fine. Don will be down here in a second. So the song Sew Me Up got put on this big time playlist that Spotify curators pick. And you as a musician have no control over that. But we've seen this huge like bump. And then that made us think about, man, we filmed a video like before COVID, we filmed a video for this single, just trying to get everything ready. And then COVID happened and everything got, shifted, and we just never released that video. And then we couldn't even find it. So then we were like back and forth with the guy who is the film director. He's in Nashville. And then we finally found it. So hopefully within like the next week or so, we're going to have a music video for you guys. Now, granted, I'll have like dark brown auburn hair because it was filmed. Going blonde was like a COVID thing for me. I was like, I never leave my house. I don't ever see anyone. I'll do something crazy. And then I kind of liked it. So anyways, that's a little bit about where we are. Would love to hear from you guys. Let me just make sure everything is turned on right. We are, for those of you that are new to the channel, we're in Zone 7B, which is, I know, an American thing, not anywhere else. No one cares about that. But in America, we're Zone 7B. We are like right north of Atlanta. We're in a suburb fairly close to Atlanta. So I used to live in the city of Atlanta, and it annoyed me when people in the suburbs said they were from Atlanta. But now I can understand because geographically, people get where you're from, even though that's not really where you're from. But we've had so much fun, like talking to people from the UK and Iceland. I mean, can you imagine being a gardener in Iceland? Like what that would be like. My son is actually going to go to Iceland in about a month, and I'm really, really excited for him to get that kind of experience. But we've also had some gardeners in India and Australia, and that's kind of cool, especially like with Australia because their seasons are reversed. And so, here we are like in January and there's nothing growing. And then I see a picture of someone's garden and it's like the most lush, gorgeous thing I've ever seen. Hang on, I think this is still on. Let's see. Is everything okay?
I think so.
I told everybody, I was like, well, this is a process. Do you want to sit on the low and slow chair, or do you want to, there's a clear chair back there.
Yeah, let me get a clear chair.
So you can't see it. I have this so this is my home office. I am a life and business coach for artists and entrepreneurs, creatives. And my coach said I sit in when a client sits in the couch is over here, but it's like real low to the ground. It's like a mid-century modern. Here you go.
Much better.
Much better. So what's the deal with the dogs?
They're good. Someone accidentally left the garage door open, and they were.
Well, the garage door's open a lot of times.
No, the
The
inside
door
garage
from the laundry
Yeah, the
room
one
to the
we
garage.
like never use. So
Oh, okay.
anyway,
Were they still in the driveway?
Zena was in the garage. Zach was in the neighbor's yard. So we found them. All's well.
The last time they got out, Zach literally ran to the middle of the street
Yeah, and just stood there.
and
Like,
then
please
just
hit me.
he ran until he got to the middle of the street, and then he literally just
Yeah,
sat there.
just sat there.
And luckily, traffic. We live in such a nice neighborhood. Everybody's like really like pet friendly and child friendly,
Yeah,
and so
they're
they
very
slowed
sweet.
down.
Because I was like chasing after him. I was like, stop.
Well, the people were stopping. Even
Yeah,
I mean,
were.
they saw a dog, they stopped. But I mean, Zach was like holding up
Yeah,
traffic.
just like standing there.
I was
Like an elk or something.
do you have no instincts? Are
Yeah.
you not aware this is like the
Yeah.
most dangerous situation you could possibly be in
Right.
as a dog? No, just
No.
chilling.
None whatsoever.
So, anyways, okay.
Sorry, I'm late, you guys. What are your thoughts about the garden so far?
Oh, for me. And
For
so
us
welcome
and
for those of you that are joining us. Welcome. It's great to see you. Let us know who you are, where you're from, all that good stuff. If you can type it in the chat box and we can read it while we're going. What are my thoughts on the garden?
Sort of like, yeah, I'm curious because like for me, I've been reading like way too much information online about like you should be planting this right now. You should be planting this right now. But I trust you, and I know that you have a method. So I'm just like,
Well, my method is the same method as everything.
yeah, I know. So like, I'm just wondering when are we gonna start planting? Because
Well,
like we don't really have a greenhouse yet, unfortunately. Like maybe that's this year's project, but until we get that, I think we had to go back to our thing last year where we like maybe have some shelves and some lights and get things started.
yes, I mean, seed starting is a really good thing to talk about, and probably a lot of you are thinking about seed starting. So we're North Atlanta, we're in Georgia, we're zone 7B. Right now, it's a really good time if you're going to like direct sow, which is when you plant the seed directly into the dirt. The soil just has to be workable, and we're having 20-degree nights, so that would not make sense to do that right now. But as soon as we get a warm spell, we'll probably put some carrots in the ground and some brassicas, cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, all of those. We have a variety of carrots, and we actually have one variety of carrots. I was just showing the kids today, and it says must be planted in winter or late summer, not a spring planting. So I do want to get those in, but we'll get those in. We need to get our potatoes in, but you don't want to get them in when it's so wet because then they rot. So it's just kind of, watching your weather, watching your 10-day forecast, just making sure everything's good. This year, Easter's a little bit late. So everything is a little bit maybe later if you were to use like the Farmer's Almanac type of guide for your planting. But the risk if you direct sow something like when it's cold like this is it can't germinate and the seed rots.
Yeah.
So we're having a 20-degree night. A 20-degree night. I mean, yeah, if we were having 40-degree nights, we could do that.
We just gotta get our seedling trays going on.
Well, the thing about the
or
seedlings,
at least be set up for it. So when it's time, it's time.
Yeah, I think that so last year what we did, if you were watching us last year, and if you weren't, that's totally fine. We'll just get you up. We had like a bunch of trays and we had them on the countertops and we had grow lights and the whole thing. And I mean, and it was fine. But I don't know. I mean, I think that all of those plants that we were doing seedlings for are the ones that if we just wait a minute, we can direct sow. Because it's not like you're not planting a tomato plant right now as a seedling.
No.
Right.
True. Yeah, it's a little bit early for that.
So I just don't know. We'll just see. The one thing that I do think we want to start as seedlings for sure is the peppers, because we're having just an ongoing issue.
Yeah, and they take so long to grow. It's like
it take long for us. They take a long time to germinate. It's like once they start growing, they like really grow. But there's a moment in time where you just think, what is happening? Wow. So I would like to get the peppers in, but if you plant the seedlings too soon, and then they get to a certain size, and then your soil is not ready for them to go into, that can kill them. Yeah. So I think there's an element of like with Easter being late, with everything being off, with what the predictions are, I think it's a little bit early for like a pepper. I think, don't you think? I think maybe around the Super Bowl we should revisit it, and then after the Super Bowl, maybe Valentine's Day. I would like to get something in there, but. We already have cabbage going. We've got broccoli going. I had some daikon radish today for lunch. I mean, We got to get the potatoes in,
Some
but
romaine going, I think, right? Like kind of
yeah,
like
I've
baby
harvested
romaine.
most of that. So
Yeah.
if you guys are gardening, we'd love to hear what you're gardening and where you're growing and all that kind of good stuff. And or we'd love to just hear what are you into? You know, what questions do you have for us? One of just for those of you that are here, and welcome to those of you that are just joining us. And thank you all for being here. We really know you have other things to do, so we appreciate that. Um, one of our goals this year is, you know, we started the quarantine garden because we're musicians and our gigs got canceled, and we wanted to be creative and we wanted to have something we did together, and we wanted to have something that we could communicate to you guys, because our initial base was our fans of our music. Then what ended up happening is we had sort of a group of people who met us as gardeners, you know, and maybe didn't even know
Right.
that we were musicians at all. So when we released this album last fall, people were like, "What?"
Yeah. Like you guys play music? What? Yeah.
That's like super confusing. So we sort of recognized that, like, you know, we have the journey in our mind, but if you met us just as gardeners, we've not really done anything to give you that backstory. Of course, our original Ormewoods fans, you know, have been along for the ride. So
Yeah.
one of our goals
They
for
saw
this
the
year,
creation.
yeah, and so one of our goals for this year was to just do a better job of merging like who we are, and ultimately, you know, we're creative people. Welcome if you're just joining us. We're so glad to have you. You know, we're creative people, and there's something to be like we're not good enough gardeners to have a how-to channel. You know, we're not
Right.
Luke. We're not Luke from In My Gardener. You know, we're not Jess from Roots and
Every
Refuge.
night we go on YouTube and like, oh my gosh, what do we
Yeah, I
do?
mean, those are the people we watch. You know,
Yeah.
like we're not at that level. This how-to channel. We do think it's fun to document what we're doing. I think it started. We just wanted to document it for us.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like let's remember, like film what we did and like see,
Back when we thought the pandemic crazy was going to be like a 4-month thing.
Yeah.
Remember when it
I
all first
remember those
started?
good, those beautiful
We were like,
days.
you know, this will be good. We'll take a break. We'll just hang out of the house for a month or two. This will all blow over.
Yeah. Not so much. But we have a garden now, which is
We have a
kind of cool.
beautiful garden.
Yeah.
And, you know, Don was asking me just a minute ago, for those of you that are just joining us, you know, what did you say? What has surprised me about the garden?
Yeah.
I think the thing
Or
that's
no, not what surprised you. Like I'm wondering like what
my thoughts.
Yeah, thoughts for the upcoming year.
It's
'Cause
just so
that's
funny because at the end of summer last year and even the beginning of fall, I was really tired of the garden. I mean, just like
yeah. I was kind of I'm with you.
I sort of lost some steam. And now I'm like really eager to get going again.
I know, me too. I'm like, all right, spring. That's the fun stuff.
It's here.
Yeah.
No, you're like, it's winter. We gotta plant.
Well, but I mean, like seedlings. I don't know.
It's a niche.
I've just watched too much YouTube. That's apparently what's happened. I'm like, oh my god, it's January 27th and we haven't planted brassicas.
Yeah, that's right. So for those of you that are music people, we'll give you a quick update. So you may know we've been working on this album called Not Your Mama's Folk for a while. In fact, we had a CD release at Eddie's Attic, which is a really fabulous music venue in Decatur, Georgia. And I mean, I think you were like pressing that CD the night before our show. I mean, it was, we had a manager at the time.
It was really that close, yeah.
We had a manager and she was sort of like setting the like she was the one that was like, you need to put out a second album. You need to do this. You need to do that. And so we sort of wrote it to those deadlines, which is very counter to, as an artist, how I would normally write, because I would normally write when I felt like writing.
Yeah.
And you had to produce to that deadline too. So yeah. I think maybe it wasn't as organic as, say, the bedroom sessions was.
Yeah.
And we were doing it. And so we made the deadline, we did the CD release, and we had a product. But then I think like neither one of us like totally was, I mean, we loved it, but it wasn't like.
It was like we were rushed and like, it wasn't.
We as an artist, we were like doing it for a deadline, not doing it because it was like a passion project. And so anyways, but the songs are good. And so we sat on it, and then all this stuff happened, and we've been working on it. It finally got released, and across the country, radio stations started picking it up. 2 songs, they started playing Nowhere to Go But Up,
yeah,
and Right Here.
Yeah.
And those are all on YouTube Music if you want to check us out. But then recently, Sew Me Up got picked up on a Spotify playlist. I think it's called like Modern Indie Folk or Modern Folk Pop.
Modern Folk Pop.
I'm not sure. If you listen to Spotify.
Modern Folk Pop. But.
So that's been kind of fun.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing now. Dawn just finished recording an audio book with our friend Becca,
Yeah.
who is like an eating disorder therapist, and she's got a really great, book out there. And I just did a podcast. What else is going on for you creatively? You've got something going on for Smoking Novas.
Yeah, yeah, we're actually. I used to be in a band called the Smoking Novas back in the day, like 3 years.
Okay, I'm
And
sorry. Back in the day is not 3 years ago.
whatever. So, my point is, I'm not in them now, but because they're defunct. But anyway, we're doing like a video shoot. We recorded a record over the course of like 2 years, I think, and it was lots of trials and tribulations, and so we've
It's
scheduled some
great.
time at a place where we can all gather and just sort of sit and play and talk about it and play the songs together. So it's gonna be fun. I'm excited about it.
Is that like next week or 2 weeks?
Nah, well, I think you got back a week.
We'll try to
Other
film
than
some
that, it's
content
fine.
for you guys. I don't know if they'll let me. Am I even invited or is it just you?
I think it's just us.
Okay.
It's like an 8 hour
Well,
shoot.
then you'll get no content because Dawn will not film.
I'll film something. I'll give you guys something.
I was gonna say if they'll let me in, I can document
It
it.
will be documented. Yeah.
Otherwise, sorry, you're shit out of luck, folks.
Right. True. True.
So I want to go back to gardening really quickly. What's the thing? So if I can like, I love you very much. I'm gonna
I love you too, baby.
I'm gonna say this with like all the kindness in my heart.
Okay.
Dawn doesn't really eat vegetables, so the fact that somehow I've got him growing organic heirloom vegetables is kind of funny.
Why is that
You
funny?
don't eat most of them, but I want you to be honest. There's got something has had to surprise you. There's had to be something that you've secretly liked better than you thought you would, or
Yeah.
okay, talk.
The rutabagas were like, I was like,
Did you just say rutabaga?
I think so. They're like the roots. Am I saying the right vegetable?
Parsnips.
Maybe parsnips. I thought it was rutabaga.
Is it when I made the French fries?
Yeah.
Parsnips.
No, wait, not when you. No, it was a different time.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, I don't know.
So root vegetables though, parsnips and rutabaga.
Yeah,
It's
just
the same.
root vegetables.
What?
Yeah,
And so
obviously.
was that something you'd never had before?
No, no. Like I never had beets. I never had anything, and now I like love them all. I love beets. I guess I love rutabagas. And
We're not. I don't even know that we have rutabaga seeds. Hey, if y'all have rutabaga seeds that you want to send us, we'll Venmo you back for 'em, 'cause I think our seed shopping is done. I will say, I was showing the kids today. We got these two kinds of carrots we're gonna plant. Well, I already mentioned this earlier, but one is a rainbow. It's an heirloom carrot from France. I got them from Baker Creek, and they just look so pretty. It's like a ombre, rainbow. And then we've got this like blood red Japanese carrot, and I really like the Japanese, like the flavor and
Japanese
inspiration
carrot.
carrots. Hmm.
What's the difference? Like, are they?
It's a seed that originated in Japan,
Oh,
so it's native
it's
to
just
their.
like native to their soil.
But they're just beautiful, and I don't know if you guys have watched all the videos and you know this, but in case you haven't and you're new, um, nobody really eats carrots in my family but me. We
Yeah.
grew a lot of carrots, and I had sort of at some point on a video said I'm not going to grow carrots anymore because I'm the only one that eats them. I feel like I eat carrots all day long. But then I had this carrot, and I can't remember the name, but it's from Baker Creek, and it's purple on the outside and orange on the inside. And you guys, this carrot, when you pull it, it's like perfume. It smells like
I remember that you like asked me to come over there and like you got to smell
it
this.
is so fragrant.
Wow.
It's amazing. And then I cut it open and I just was like, wow, this is a really cool experience. And then I think I ate some raw in a salad and I think I cooked some and they stood up both ways. But it was so fragrant that both my kids actually ate it and they said they liked it. So
Yeah.
it kind of reawakened my desire for like, maybe we are not going to grow like grocery store carrots. But if I can find exotic or the heirloom stuff is fun. And like for
Yeah.
those of you that are growing heirlooms, you might be doing it the same reason we do it. Like for me, I like to grow heirlooms because I'm a foodie. And the stuff you get at the grocery store is food that's been bred for production. It's been bred to sit on a truck and survive transportation.
Right.
And over time, what's happened is the crops that survived the longest are the crops that we're still eating. And that really has nothing to do with flavor, you know, because back in the old days when everybody grew their own seeds,
Yeah,
they
it's
were growing flavor. Like it didn't
Yeah.
matter. You grew it, you picked it, you ate it. Like how long it could sit on a truck.
Yeah.
Had
It's like, oh, but this one lasts 5 weeks, so
Right.
let's, you know, push that breed or whatever.
Right. And so, you know, the thing with the heirloom seeds is like you typically, that's not the fruit or the vegetable that you're getting in the grocery store. And so I sort of feel like if we're going to go to the trouble of growing this stuff,
Yeah, let's grow like
And-
special stuff, you know?
it's not like a walk in the park.
It is hard. Tomatoes are hard, at least for us. Like, we really struggled.
Not just tomatoes, the whole thing.
No.
You know, we have 2 full-time jobs and we have teenagers, and like there are just days where it's Saturday and I'm like, we got to pull weeds.
I know.
We got to mulch.
Like,
We got to put the compost down. And I mean, we love doing it, but there is a sense of like, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. Yeah.
You know, especially with our schedule.
Yeah. So anyway, we're
So
doing pretty good so far, I think.
Yep, very, very much. Okay, so this would be a chance if you guys had any questions or wanted to ask us anything or just say hi, we would love to hear from you. There's a couple of people that are commenting, but we, for some reason, are not really able to understand what it's like. It's scrambled when it's coming through. So just FYI, if you're commenting and we're like not acknowledging you, please know that we see you and we know you're there, but we can't really make out what the comment is. So, you know, we don't want you to think that we're ignoring you. Is there anything else that you wanted to share or talk about?
I think that's kind of it for this
I
week.
think it's kind of it too. I mean, if there's not anything else, we are wanting to go live every Thursday. And obviously we can stay as long as we need to chat because we like chatting, but we also, you know, if there's no other updates, then
yeah, it's like there's only so much to share for 7 days.
Yeah. But we're going to continue to put out the videos each week, and then we're going to go live on Thursdays at 8:30. And we will try in our videos this year, like we mentioned earlier, to find fun ways to maybe coordinate, you know, what we're filming with the creative stuff, so it doesn't feel so like, wait, what? Yeah. You know, we're sort of helping those of you that are new to the Ormewoods or you only know us as gardeners, helping you sort of get some backstory of like what we were doing before this. But thank you so much for joining us. We really, really appreciate your support. We answer every comment on every video. So if you ever watch something and you want to teach us something, or you see something that we're doing wrong, which is highly likely, especially if you watch
fairly often.
If you watch this week's video, you'll see.
Yeah.
You'll see.
Yeah.
And we'll look to get that Sew Me Up video, to get that posted and maybe share that with you. Maybe we could do that next Thursday.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah.
We'll see.
All right. Thanks, you guys.
You guys, bye. Thank you.